Fire watch. 3 fires are burning right now in SoCal, and the extreme heat is making the firefight difficult. We are keeping a close eye on the bridge fire in the San Gabriel Mountains. Also another fire, the line fire above Highland, that's in the San Bernardino Mountains.
Yeah, we're also tracking the airport fire that's raging in Trabuco Canyon in Orange County, and it's burning close to towers that provide very critical service.
That's right. We do have team coverage we want to tell you all about right now. Assignment Manager Mark Liu is tracking evacuations in our impacted areas. Plus, we've got reporters on the ground from the IE to Orange County. Let's begin with Cara Fincham, who's in Trabuco Canyon following the airport fire. Cara.
Yeah, we've actually moved a little bit further up the hillside than when we spoke with you last, and you can see just that really dark plume of smoke rising from this fire, as well as some of the flare-ups on the hillside. CAL FIRE did put out an update saying this fire grew from about 5,500 acres to 8,500 overnight, so some rapid growth there. This fire started around 1:30 in Trabuco, and we have some video that we want to show you of this as it blazed yesterday. Fire officials say it was sparked unintentionally, that public works crews were moving boulders when some equipment overheated. More than 1,400 homes in Robinson's Ranch have been under mandatory evacuation orders overnight, and another area of Rancho Santa Margarita, as well as parts of Trabuco Canyon and Ortega Highway, remain under voluntary evacuation warnings. Now, because of the threat of this fire and all the smoke, Robinson and Trabuco elementary schools are closed. Other area schools continuing to monitor this fire and its progress. We spoke with one man who's facing an evacuation in order.
You never know. I mean, once you always feel like you're ready, and then once the situation comes, you don't know what to grab. I'll probably be up all night, just kind of keeping an eye on it, just I don't know, watching and seeing what happens. So just I can't sleep.
This was a view from SkyCal last night. 2 firefighters have been sent to the hospital with heat-related injuries. 1 person was taken for smoke inhalation, but fortunately, all 3 of them expected to be okay. Now, at last report, no homes, no structures had been damaged. We do expect to get more updated information about what this fire did overnight and those evacuation.
Shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, we give our praises and glory and honor as due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem B'Kakadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Salakia. Those of this gospel, bro, I lift up the stutter of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a quick lesson through the Spirit. It says 3 fires continue to burn in Southern California. More times of judgment, more signs of the times, more plagues. As we know, Babylon is pretty much being plagued with judgments. And what are the chances that California, being one of the most wickedly diverse cultures in this society, is being hit on all angles? I remember one year you had tornadoes, mudslides, mass flooding, and snow all in one season, which is pretty much unheard of. But we know that California, you have what they call Hollywood in California, which is, you have Hollywood, California, which I believe is, it's like a metropolis of LA, something to that magnitude. But nonetheless, you have Yahweh Shai bringing a judgment, because the people there, they're wicked, they're proud. And there's a lot of sorcery, a lot of wickedness, and there's a lot of morality that goes on in California. Okay? Soon to be Atlanta next. Which Atlanta, they call that shit like the black, they call it like the black Mecca, some shit like that. I don't know, but, Yahweh Shai is making moves. So I was reading a couple of comments, and he says, I live in Lake Elsinore, but get ready for voluntary evacuations followed by mandatory evacuations. When I bought my trailer to live in it was the fire season of 2023, and no insurance companies would take me due to the fires. And I'm noticing that a lot of insurance companies are packing up and leaving Cali because of the volatile weather, which a lot of that I believe is actually being done by Esau's space weapons. Okay, you have something which is called DEWS, which stands for direct energy weapons. I remember they showed satellite footage back in 21, I think 22, that when those fires were happening, they were showing like these laser type weapons that was being shot from outer space. Which Esau, the Lord said that he gave him control of the earth. Okay, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges. Okay, but ultimately this is Yahweh Shem Shai operating on the left hand side, but he's using Esau, Edom, to destroy its infrastructures because we understand that they have a agenda to fulfill called the NWO, which they want to grid everybody off into these 15-minute smart cities, and they want to put a micro chip in you. Same thing that happened in Maui. They totally destroyed Maui, and people was displaced, and people that couldn't get off the island, they was forced to pretty much burn. So, yeah, you're dealing with the real devil, to say the least. All right. Anyway, it says here, after the Lahaina, Hawaii fire, the people were complaining that the governor, for few months before the fire, changed that area from the protected to an area open for investors. If natural disasters happen, then suddenly the no-so natural disasters appear. Yeah, because they wanted to buy up all that land. Same thing in Florida now. They're not insuring certain areas in Cali because of the hurricanes, man. Because, you got $1 million homes and you got millions of dollars of damage. They're not going to make a profit off that. You have a $5 million home, but yet you have $30 million in property damage, and then you do the math on that. That's not a good return on the investment. And we know that insurance companies are mere ripoffs, But anyway, this is the book of Mark 13, and I'm going to start at verses 3. It says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, 'Tell us, what should these things be? And what should be the sign of when all these things should be fulfilled?'" And they was talking about the end of the society, the end of an age. Okay, when you go into that definition of world, that goes into eon, which means a dispensation of time, a period of time. Okay, and we know that Yahweh Shem Shai operates in particular measures of balance. It tells us that in Ezra's that unless one measure is filled, the other can't be moved. So the Most High, he operates in increments of time through prophecies. And this is how we're able to gauge the time. Like it tells us in the book of Habakkuk, it tells us measure the time diligently in itself. Okay, and we're at the time of the end. And it reads, and it says, "And Yahushua answering them began to say, 'Take heed lest any man deceive you.'" Okay, taking heed means to be circumspect. Pay attention. It says, "Lest any man deceive you." It says, "For many should come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and should deceive many. But when you hear wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled. For such things must need be, but the end should not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there should be earthquakes in divers places, and there should be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of signs of the times," okay, of sorrows. And right now we're in the beginning of sorrows, and they're getting ready to escalate because you have this ordeal with this new president, this new presidential debate, which I might not even watch it because it's gonna be a crock of bullshit anyway. It's talking points either side, both sides. It's just stupidity, man. And the only people that's buying into it is you simple ass jakes, man. Mainly you nigga women. Okay, you liberals. Okay, you're buying into the narratives that this tyrannical government is throwing in your face, but the Lord told us not to trust in Egypt. But it reads here, it says, "But take heed for yourselves, for they should deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues you should be beaten, and you should be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them." So this is all equated with end time prophecy. And this is why we constantly go into these things to warn the people what's to come, what's to transpire. Because before the Lord destroys any empire, any kingdom, he sends the prophets on the scene to declare the end before it comes to pass, which proves that the men of the Lord are back today. All right. Go here to the book of Habakkuk, 2nd chapter. And it's not going to be a long lesson, but I found it interesting that California is still getting hit with all these plagues. And it's more than what they're speaking about, but, they have what they call media blackouts when they choose to report on certain things. And after a while, they report on it for a while, and then before you know it, it goes under the rug. And before you know it, you have a whole displacement of a society, so to speak. All right, so this is the book of Habakkuk 2, and I'm going to start at 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. An appointed time goes into a specified amount of time, a particular amount of time. Okay, if somebody said, well, I'll appoint you to be there at 8 a.m., that's the time you need to be there because it's an appointed time. Okay, Yahweh Shai even said that the Father has set these things within his own power. He has appointed the time within his own power. The angels don't even know, Yahweh Shai don't even know when he's set to return. But we have some understanding that Yahweh Shai is coming back in this day and age because of what the Bible foretells. And the Bible gives us particular signs to look out for. You know, there's several clues in the Bible as to when to expect the return of Yahweh Shai. Okay, but there's no particular date. So I can't say Yahweh Shai be back next week because we don't know. It's not written. But as prophecy progresses, you could kind of start to put the piece together because in Second Esdras, I think it's 14 when it goes into the 12th part. And we understand we're in the 12th part now. So this is the part that Yahweh Shai is going to come back into a revitalized Roman Empire. Because believe it or not, Yahweh Shai came on the scene within this same beast structure. Okay? The same beast, this fourth beast, which Daniel the prophet saw, which was to merge after the Greco-Roman Empire, which the Greco-Romans became the Romans. Greco-Romans, pretty much the same system. But Daniel foretold the coming of Yahweh Shai during the time of a revival of a Roman Empire. And what are the chances that this is it? So we're there. But it says here, and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely speak. It will surely come, it would not tarry. And tarry goes into like a procrastination or like a hold up or like a slow up in time. You know, it seems like it's tarrying, but things are actually happening quicker than what we think, you know. It's just things are happening so fast to the point you can't really keep up on everything because the Lord is speeding this thing up. And this is why the scriptures say, hasten the day of the coming of the Lord. This is why we do these shows, man. All right. One last precept, and I'll play the last video, and I will end it. This is the book of 2 Esdras 16, and I'm going to start at verses 4. It says, a fire sent among you, and who may quench it? And that fire is ultimately talking about the judgments that the Heavenly Father is going to bring through the angels, man. Okay, through the form of inclement weather, civil war, and mainly world war when those missiles are shot. And that's ultimately what the fire is talking about, the nuclear missiles. And it says, plagues are sent to you, and what is he that may drive them away? And these are plagues, okay? Because when these cities are disrupted and you have all types of inclement weather that destroy infrastructures in the city, that's millions of dollars in budgeting that they have to come up with in order to repair these things. And in most cases, they don't even build the shit back up. They'll just build something cheaper or they'll just leave it desolate, you know, because this is actually delivering a blow to Esau's kingdom. And it says, may a man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may one or anyone quench the fire in a stubble when it begins to burn? And the answer is no. It says, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? Question is no. It says here, the mighty Lord sendeth the plague, and who is he that can drive them away? And this is nothing more but a plague. Okay, fires, plagues, man. Okay, pestilence, inclement weather. And it says, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? It says, he shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? Okay, because we understand that Yahweh Shai is the one that's behind these judgments. Though he may use Esau to do them, but he's still the ultimate credit giver, or the Lord is the ultimate progenitor of these judgments. You know, and it reads here, and it says, he shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? It says, he shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? And it reads, the Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten into powder at his presence? And that's when those missiles hit. But the earth quaketh in the foundations thereof, and the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and should not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. And that's actually talking about those missiles. Verse 14, behold, plagues are sent and should not return again until they come upon the earth. And the fire is kindled and should not be put out until it consume the foundation of the earth, man. And this is what we're seeing in the form of these plagues. Some people speculate that they can be so-called UFOs. Some people speculate that it could be direct energy weapons. Some people suspect that it can just be an act of the Most High, which, hey, all three is correct. I saw a little 29-second video from 9/11 before the buildings got hit, and it looked like it was a chariot that flew by the building. So I don't know, man. I may have to do a lesson on it and see what you brothers think about it. But that's the first time I've ever come across that video. And it was so funny because when they posted it up, everybody was saying like, wow, I've never saw that footage of that video before, which proves that it was something bigger at hand that transpired during a new evacuation, But anyway, I'm going to end it here, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Lord's will, you were edified. Until the next lesson. Shalom.
Orders in about an hour or so. So as soon as we get that, we'll bring it to you. But again, we do know at this point that this fire grew quite a bit overnight, going from about 5,500 acres to 8,500.
Cara, thank you. Hopefully, as our temperatures decrease, that will bring some relief to the firefighters.
Also, communities are under threat in the Big Bear Valley as the line fire continues to inch up the surrounding mountains. Residents there are being warned that they could be evacuated soon.
KCAL News reporter Rick Montanez is live in Highland with the latest on that growing fire. Rick, good morning.
Yeah, Christine, Chris, the threat is very high for that famed mountain community. Right now, we're actually along Highway 38 here near the Mill Creek Visitor Center. This is where they have the road closure set up to go into communities like Angeles Oaks, Forest Falls, which are under evacuation orders right now because of the threat of the line fire. And let's show you what it looked like from just yesterday. Fire behavior has been erratic. We've watched as flames have burned through thick, dry brush for days now. This is largely, though, an open forest, and incredibly, no structures or homes have been damaged or destroyed, but the threat is still real for about 38,000 structures, according to fire officials. The county fire chief and sheriff both warning people in Big Bear Valley to be ready to go at a moment's notice. Deputies will be out patrolling, they say, and will go into neighborhoods with sirens blaring if they need to evacuate neighborhoods immediately. The governor has activated the National Guard, which will bring more hand crews, more aircraft, and other resources right here to the front lines. Neighbors are getting ready to leave, but not everyone wants to go just yet.
They're doing everything they can to keep it under control, but, with an area that large, it's only so much you can do.
No offense, but if you still think stocks, real estate, or crypto are the best passive income investment.
If it gets big, those embers start flying all over, and there's a lot of dry patches, and those catch, it's a whole new ball game.
And check out the map here. This is from CAL FIRE to see where the fire has burned. That's the orange area. Those red boxes, those are the areas under mandatory evacuations. And the yellow boxes in Big Bear Valley, that's the area under warnings for possible evacuations. We want to bring you back out here to our live camera feed where you can see some of the smoke off in the distance just beyond the ridge there. So fire's still burning. Right now we're not seeing dark plumes of smoke, which is good. So possibly the fire behavior calmed down overnight. 26,000 acres burned so far. Significantly more growth is possible. There are nearly 2,000 firefighting personnel who are on the front lines right now. They're rotating on 24-hour shifts on and off. And you have to imagine that's pretty difficult for them considering how hot it's been. But some relief from the weather will help. But still, there is a good chance for significant growth over the next 2 days. Reporting live in Mentone, Rick Montanez, KCAL News.
Okay, Rick, thank you so much. Let's go to Mount Baldy now. Mount Baldy is under an evacuation order this morning. 76 homes are threatened by the bridge fire. This one's burning in the San Gabriel Mountains. It has grown to nearly 3,000 acres with no containment. The fire broke out Sunday in the Angeles National Forest above Glendora. Hundreds of fire crews are battling the flames. They say the rugged terrain, along with the heat, is making conditions worse.
We want to take a closer look now at the evacuation warnings and orders that are in effect. And our assignment manager, Mark Liu, he's at the desk where he's been tracking it all. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Christine. Yeah, 3 major fires burning in Southern California. And as they have grown, the first one starting last week, the evacuation warnings and orders have grown along with them. Now, here at the desk, we've been tracking all of that data, and I'm going to bring you onto my screen and show you. Let's start first with the line fire. This is the one that's been burning the longest. It's been burning in the northeast part of Highland, and you can see here now 23,000 acres. It started last Thursday evening, and you can see this bright orange area here. This is the path of the fire that's taken into the northeast. Now, the big areas of evacuation here are Running Springs and Seven Oaks and Forest Falls. All of those red areas there under a mandatory evacuation order. And then almost all of the community of Big Bear is currently under an evacuation warning. They're asking residents in Big Bear to be ready to leave at a moment's notice if this fire continues to expand. Now, the next fire I want to talk about is here, down between Lake Elsinore and Trabuco Canyon. This is the airport fire. It started yesterday at about 1:30, and you can see here it's also burning in a northeasterly direction out of the Trabuco Canyon area. Now, this one's about 8,500 acres. The big area of concern here, Trabuco Canyon Central Park, that area is under a mandatory evacuation order. And then a large parts of Lake Elsinore also under evacuation warnings right now, as well as the Lake Elsinore Unified School District. All of the schools in this area are closed for today, as well as schools down here. The Saddleback Unified School District has declared an emergency there, and they've closed their elementary schools. And then there's a third fire. This is the Bridge Fire. It's burning to the north of Glendora. It's the smallest one, only about 3,000 acres. But areas of Mount Baldy and to the east here, a very small community under mandatory evacuation orders as this fire continues to grow in the mountains. They're very difficult to access, difficult terrain. And then there's one other map that I wanted to show you that just came into the assignment desk. This is air quality. You can see here the fires exactly there. Very bad air quality for residents. So if you can stay inside today, it's probably a good idea just because of the heat anyway. But all that smoke is affecting the air quality. That is the very latest here from the desk. I'll send it back to you.
Okay, Mark, thank you so much.